let's kick it off. Hey, I can see a couple more people joining, so we'll give it another minute, actually. Hey, Pink Oracle, how are you doing, Russ? Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining us. And then Lexi's going to do a little intro.
There we go.
Here, I'll do a little
there you go.
for us all to see it.
Hey.
Awesome.
Mwah. Mwah.
Thank
Big
you all
kisses.
so much for joining today's episode of the Dream Walk Dreamer series. We have 3 amazing dreamers, all from 2018. Lexi's going to share it on Insta. We're going to get some more people involved in the conversation, and we are going to share it afterwards for anyone who wasn't able to join. Like I said, we have 3 amazing 2018 dreamers with us here today that are all amazing LGBTQ advocates, and I'd like to kick it off by having one of our first dreamers, Drew, introduce himself and tell us all a little bit about yourself, Drew.
Okay, guys, so my name is Drew Shipley. I currently live in Philadelphia, but I will be moving to Los Angeles when all of this craziness is over. I'm a 2018 dreamer, and I currently work at NBC 10, but I just found out I am getting a job at TMZ, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, so there's that.
Awesome, and I love your shirt, Drew.
Wait, so did you graduate?
Thank you. Huh?
So did you do the grad?
I graduated virtually. So it was a weird time. It's weird to experience that, but it's also kind of memorable because it's like, I don't know if that'll ever happen again. So it's in a way memorable in itself, you know?
Yeah. I love that you're taking a positive approach to everything, which doesn't surprise me because it's you. And I feel like you're such a great person to kick it off. And the first question I want to ask is, you are obviously, if anyone follows you on Insta, you are a proud member of the LGBTQ community. And I'd love for you to share a little bit more about what it was like in the beginning for you when you finally decided to come out, and especially if you had any, fears or hesitations, how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so I mean, I started realizing that I was gay when I was like in middle school, and at that time it's like very crucial for you to make friends, and you're like joining with all these different people. So I was obviously very scared, but I kind of just pushed it under the carpet because I was like, I'm not gonna deal with it. Like I don't have to deal with it right now. Then as I got older, obviously it became more apparent. All my friends are dating, and then I was just like, oh my God. And I had all these people in my high school who were just like, are you gay? Like just a bunch of stuff that like really is none of their business, but somehow it always becomes everybody's business. So it was kind of having to deal with that was hard, but luckily with my family, they were very accepting, and I was able to easily come out to them because my mom has a brother who's gay, so she was always used to that, very accepting, and then my dad's been the same thing. So I always had a good family support system, but what I've really found was obviously you have to start sharing who you are to people. So I began doing that and just letting people know, like, this is who I am, especially the close friends that I had. And they didn't treat me any differently. I was so worried about that too with each one of my friends, thinking like they didn't already know or like something, you know what I mean? You just have this, like, you're like living in a bubble. But then when you say it, it's just like the fact that you have to own it yourself. It's kind of hard to imagine yourself like being put in a label per se, but you're much more than that. It's just part of who you are. So I think that was like the most difficult thing for me. But when you find acceptance for yourself, it kind of just comes easier, and you find people that will love you no matter who you are.
So you stuck with your close friends, and that was a good approach, you think, for people to kind of find that trusted group first? Yeah,
I think it's good to find people that are gonna like just be very open to you. And you know what, most of your friends that you have already probably know something, and they just want you to share it with them. It's honestly more of just, it makes everybody more comfortable. And I know it seems so scary, but it really will help you so much.
I think that's reassuring too, to know that like it actually was easier after you find
the first time was the hardest. After the first friend, I was like, don't go into the next. Weight being like lifted off my shoulder, honestly. It felt like it's just something that you have to be comfortable with doing, and when that's your time, it's your time. If it's early, if it's late, it's totally up to you.
That's awesome.
That's
and that's great that your parents were accepting, because I feel like that's what so many people lose out on or don't have. So like
exactly,
to actually like be there for you and support you, that's probably huge.
Beyond, it was very helpful. It really was.
And then you have sisters and brothers too, so were they all
Yeah, no, everyone, I mean, they all knew. There's so many instances. I look back and I was like, I was playing with Barbie dolls. I always was dressing up in like girls because I wanted to be the girl characters in video games. So it was like, you know, there was things that stood out to them that they always knew. It was just, they wanted me to be comfortable telling them. So it's just, that was like the biggest thing. The biggest hump for me to get over was that. And not caring about what other people think, because that's something you have to learn in all aspects of life. It's just, it's not really important what people think.
And you do that well, so keep doing what you're doing. But all right, so then you were one of the first male dreamers to walk the Dream Off fashion show. So what do you think about the whole concept of having people in the show of all different shapes and sizes, men, women, straight, gay, anything?
Exactly. No, I think it is so beautiful and so important, because growing up, it's really hard for people that aren't like this movie star. They don't look like what everyone makes society out to be is perfect. So being able to do this, it gives me the chance to show people that are like me, that are younger or even older, that like, you are beautiful. You can do whatever you want, regardless of what beauty standards society puts out there. It's not important. And seeing everybody do that was beautiful. There were so many different people. I've never been to a happier show in my life. Seriously. There was so much love in the room, and it was so like, you can go to a Victoria's Secret fashion show and see 100 of the same girls, or you can go to another fashion show and see 100 of the same people, but a show that keeps so many different people in the loop and incorporates so many different backgrounds is way more interesting to me. And I think it's starting to be like that more so in just the regular aspect of the beauty world, because even Rihanna, I saw this after you guys were the trailblazers. Because I saw Rihanna's Fenty show and she had the exact thing. It was beautiful. And the show,
dancing.
right? I was like, there's no way that Victoria's Secret can compare. It's just not. The beauty is not what one person thinks it is. It's way more than that. And everyone's body is a work of art, and you got to just own it.
Absolutely. I love that. You are always dropping some wisdom.
You got to.
So, and then as someone who I thought looked very confident on the runway, I'm wondering, you know, like, how do you continue to like embrace, you talked about you have to own it, right? Yeah. How did you get to the point where you owned it, where you embraced who you are?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing for me was just owning the fact that I am this way, but also realizing that it sets me apart from everybody off the instance. Like, there's no, like, being gay, it seems like it was so, like, it seemed dark when I first thought about it. And then as I began to like own myself and just feel more comfortable, I realized that that's what makes me so unique. Like, other people can't say that. And I now have a group and a community that I can go to, and there's the same people just like me with the same like problems, the same concerns, and we can all like bond together. And I think one of the most important things to do is when you actually you get comfortable with who you are, go to gay pride, and you can just see that, like, you know what, it is not as it seems. Maybe you read too much into something and you're like terrified, but I'm telling you, the real world, as much as it is scary, like, if you surround yourself with people that love and care about you, you totally will. And then another thing is, like, high school seems like it's everything, and then you leave and you're like, oh my God, like, was I seriously thinking that this was the end of the world? Because your life has only, and it's so hard to imagine that when you're there. It really is. It's seriously is so hard, but your world just opens up, and there's so many people. You can move to places where people are more accepting. Say you're not from somewhere that's accepting. And another one of the biggest things that I feel like is important to know is that, say your family doesn't totally accept you or whatever it is, you can create your own family. You can bring people, and trust me, there's friends that I've met so many people in my life that regardless, I could have them as a support system for the rest of my life. And you build the people that make you happy. And it's really about surrounding yourself with people who are going to care about you, you know?
I really like that, because I think that one of the things Dreamwalk has done is it's given a lot of people community that have otherwise not had that. You know, a lot of our dreamers didn't have supportive parents. You know, some of them were kicked out of their house. Some of them were told, you know, disowned basically because of their identity.
Yeah, and no, it definitely has created a space where, I mean, I still talk to so many people from my first show 2 years ago. We all, like, whether it's liking Instagram pictures or just like replying to stories, you stay in touch with these people. And in a way, if you ever needed anything, they would never hesitate to like help you, or even vice versa. I would never be afraid to help anybody else that was going through anything if, you know, they ever needed it.
Oh.
And who has been someone in your life that you've looked up to that you have like drawn strength from? Because I think you're doing that for a lot of people now, but I'm curious, who do you draw strength from?
And you know, it's weird. I have always had an obsession with Miley Cyrus, and I know that sounds so like.
With Miley Cyrus, that's what you said?
Yes. I have just like, because you know what, she's been figuring herself out since the time that she was brought into it. And it's kind of inspirational to me because she has owned that she's pansexual, and she is, you know what, this one day I want to be more like a boy, this one day I want to be more like a girl. And I think like her music is just inspirational. I look up to her just to realize that life is never as dark as it may seem at sometimes, that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you just believe in yourself, you'll get there, you know?
Wow. That's good. That's really good.
I did not think of her as the one that you were going to say for your inspiration.
I know, I think
but I do love her, so I support it.
I just love her free-spiritedness. I think it's really beautiful. I love that about her. I'm just like, more people just need to be more free-spirited and just not give a damn about what people think, you know?
I agree with that. Also,
where do we find you?
Yes, tell everyone where to find you.
Okay, like on Instagram?
Yeah, internet, Instagram, on TMZ. What show are you going to be on? Tell us everything.
Okay, so yes, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at I'm Drew Shipley, and most of my social media handles are the same. I'm really trying to blow up on TikTok. It's been difficult, but I have a few good videos, so if you guys want to check them out, I'd appreciate that. But yeah, so I will be, I don't know when I'll actually be on camera at TMZ, but I will make sure you guys know.
Make sure you tell us so we can share it with everyone.
I will.
Thank you so much for joining us. And next up, we have another amazing dreamer, Ronnie.
Hey.
I know that you're not loving your current quarantine situation, but tell us who you are, where you're from, and some fun things that you do love.
Okay, so my name is Ronnie Flores. I'm 23, 24 next weekend. And I live in Hazleton, PA. I just finished school a week before quarantine, so now I'm a licensed cosmetologist and with business degree. And yes, so I was part of the 2018 Dreamwalk fashion show, and I finally got it clarified. I was the first ever transgender to walk you guys' fashion show.
Look at you, girl.
You're one of the first transgender people I feel like to walk in lingerie in a fashion show, period.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, I feel like that was when Victoria, did you walk the same year, right? That Victoria's
I walked the same year as Victoria's Secret basically shut down because of the trans community.
Yes. So I thought it was really like poetic justice that they had like negativity around a trans model, and we had you absolutely it on the runway.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had so many like women reach out to me after doing the fashion show, like telling me like, wow, what an inspiration, whether trans or not trans, just women in general. It was just so very inspirational because I didn't really, like, you guys obviously know, before I was a trans woman, I never really had to come out as gay because I was kind of fruity from the room, you know? My whole family and all my friends kind of knew, but it was a shocker to them when I finally came out as trans. And the way that I did it was obviously dramatic because I'm Latina, what else? Like, I didn't do it, like, I didn't sit my mom down. My mom was a single mother my whole life. So I didn't sit her down and tell her the whole, like, hey, like, my story. I just basically, she kind of started realizing the changes in my body. And that's when she approached me and was like, what's going on? And that's when everything was like, it came to light, and she accepted me. It was never something closed. And that's something that till this day, I'm forever grateful that my mom never shut me down. And she's a very religious woman, especially being Spanish. She's very extremely religious. So it was something kind of shocking. Oh, someone new. But yeah, it was just very shocking to see all the love and hate with Victoria's Secret, and then walking for you guys, it was kind of like not only was it kind of very inspirational for me because your fashion show was actually my first ever fashion show walking as a woman. I've done fashion shows in the past where I was a male, and then your fashion show was the first one that kind of put me back on my like comfort zone, because I was always comfortable being me and always being like, finally, like, okay, I'm out. Like, I don't have to hide. I don't have to hide my hair or this area anymore. So it was always very like inspirational for me to like see Victoria's Secret women. And I've always wondered like, oh my God, what would it feel like to have wings and just like sexy lingerie? So then when you guys approached me, it was something that I obviously didn't hesitate to say no, or to like, I definitely didn't say no, but I definitely said yes right away. Because it was just something that I was like looking forward to my whole life, just to like have that like clarification, like, you still got it. You still got it. You got this. And people are going to love you, whether they love you or hate you, at least they're still watching. So at the end of the day, that was my thing. I was just like, well, whoever watches me, that's fine. And one thing that I do like to do, I love to break boundaries and walls, because people have this stigmatism of trans women that they automatically think that it's just a guy in a wig or a guy wearing a bra. And it's like, no, like there's a difference. What people don't realize is there's a huge difference between a drag queen and a transgender person. A drag queen is someone that does it for performing experience, and they do it for entertainment. Being transgender, it's not, we don't have a mental disorder, and that's what people always say, that we have a mental disorder and we don't know what we want to do with our own life. And we are like, oh, you don't know what gender or sexuality you have to be. But when it comes to transgender, you know from a very young age, or you just realize like, okay, something was wrong your whole life. And me, for an example, my sister and she kind of was the one that like taught me like, yeah, you're this, you're not that. And it was at a very young age, because my sister always knew what gay was, but no one in my family was ever educated on being trans.
Yeah.
So it was a shock. And then when my, don't worry. And then when my sister showed me, like more of like gay movies, and especially who RuPaul was,
Yeah.
it was someone that like, I was like, oh my God, she's beautiful. And then that's when I found out like what a drag queen really was. So I was like, but I was like, no, it's not. I don't want to do a temporary overnight thing. I was like, I don't feel like that.
Yep.
So it wasn't until like my first inspiration of trans was actually an actress whose name is Amaya Scott.
Okay.
She was on the TV show Star.
Yep.
And she played Cotton. But I actually met her in New York. I know this is gonna sound bad, so whoever's watching, please don't do this. But I was at a young age. I lived in New York, so I kind of used to like sneak out and find out like what was the gay scene. So it wasn't until one day I met her at a pizzeria. And I remember being like so like young. I'm not even gonna say my age, but I was so young, and I was like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. Who is that? And it wasn't until I heard obviously negative comments, and that's when I was like, oh, you can do that. I can change.
Yep.
I can do that. So then I officially started my journey of being who I am today. I started at the age of 18.
Wow. Okay.
I waited because I had a religious mother. I was like, let me respect her household, and let me do it. Because in case, unfortunately, there's that case where you can get kicked out, or you have to do things that are, unsafe. So I was very hesitant, even though I was still doing it like quiet, but I was doing it. And then when I finally came out, I was able to just be me and just be safe and have that protection, not only from my mom, but my cousins and my family and my friends. Like, it was very shocking to my male friends who are straight
Yeah.
and are cis men, and they were very hesitant when just being around a gay.
Yeah.
Like straight men are always hesitant being around a gay because they automatically think, we want them, and it ain't like that. We don't like, we don't like all of you.
So
Yeah.
true.
But when I came out as trans, automatically they were like I had the whole negative of you're just doing this for attention, or you're just doing this for this, or you're just doing this for that, and I just stood there like, it's okay, talk all you want, you'll wait, you'll see. And then it wasn't until it wasn't officially, I didn't really focus on my journey until I moved to Philly when I lived in Philadelphia. That's actually something people don't know. So I was always transgender living here in Hazleton. And then my full journey of living as a woman was when I lived in Philadelphia. And that's where I met you guys, and I met Drew, and then everyone else. So it was, my life there was something that I needed to survive.
Yeah.
I say that to survive because I had so many negativity when I lived here, especially being transgender, like going through my first stages of transitioning, and people seeing my changes, it was kind of like a shocker to them. And then, from posting your first picture of my first selfie as a woman, people were like, what is that? What's going on? So me, I was just like, I was like, okay, I gotta leave. I gotta get out of this area to go to an area where people don't know me. And I took a huge jump by going to Center City, Philadelphia. So doing that and then being around more LGBT community was when I was like, please, I'm good. I was like, I can have my own friends and family, screw back home, I'm good.
Yeah.
But it was something that I needed. I love the fact that I lived through that, and it has made me stronger. It's made me more wiser in who I am today. I'm more confident in myself after your guys' fashion show. I never thought that being half naked on a stage, I needed to be more confident. Never in a million years I thought that I needed to show my butt cheeks to be super confident in my skin. And that's something that I actually value now as a woman, because not only am I trans, but I'm also plus size. Not plus size like that, but I love curve. I love having curves.
You're a curvy Latino woman.
Exactly. And dealing I wasn't, being trans, I always thought oh my God, you have to look the part, you have to get your hair done, makeup, everything, make sure you're what in quote unquote is passable. And I was just like, oh my God, please, Lord, don't let anyone what is called clocking. I never wanted to be clocked, as in no Adam's apple, no 5 o'clock shadow, or flat chested. I always thought the curvier, the more curvaceousness, the more Hollywood, the better. And then it wasn't honestly, it wasn't until your fashion show that I actually took the time to learn more of myself. Because I realized, I was like, wait a minute, at the end of the day, people are gonna talk whether you have makeup or not, whether your hair is done or not, and whether you have acne, bad acne, good skin, bad skin. I'm I look at Miley Scott, I look at Laverne Cox, I look at all these other trans women that have paved the way to be confident and love themselves. And after your fashion show and having so many women and even men and younger children, which was so weird to me, having children slide into my DMs saying thank you, and I'm just like, ooh. So having that, it was just, I realized, I was like, okay, I already had a platform before, because I always did my fashion show and my music, and I was always dancing for music videos and things like that. Yeah, I was a video vixen. But I took, after being in that being in your guys' fashion show, it opened so many doors for me, and it was very shocking to see the response and to see the love, especially, I don't know if you guys realize, but the video that you guys put out that had my name, the one that said Ronnie Flores, that was the video that went completely viral.
Yeah.
True.
And it was very shocking to me because I was in college and I was in class and I didn't know what was going on. And I remember the video came out and I remember going, oh, well, like, it just got put out. Like, it's not going to go viral. Like, it was released literally within 24 hours. And I walked into my class and I had like half of the classroom, like, just clapping. And I was like, what the heck did I do? I was like, what's going on? And it wasn't until my teacher walked in and she actually, like, I'm thinking she's going to like put what we have to do. No, she played the video for the whole class.
Oh my God.
And I literally sat there and I was like, oh, because I didn't know that you guys released it. I only knew that the clip was out, but I didn't get to see it because I was sleeping. I was out. I had class at like 6 a.m. So I was like, I'll watch it once first period is over, I'll watch it and share it and everything. And then walking into class and dealing with that, I called my mom. I couldn't deal no more classes the rest of the day. I called my mom crying. I called my sister. I even had like my cousins that were there at the show. They were all like, oh, we're so proud of you. And then I actually had like people that, I know this is going to sound weird, but I had people that were like, send me death threats before the video.
Yeah.
Because of being trans.
Right.
They reached out to me and said like, okay, like, we're sorry. I actually had someone send me a huge gift basket of like apology. Yeah. And they knew who I was because of my mom, because they worked with my mom.
Yeah.
So they asked my mother, like, can we give this to you? And my mom gave it to me. And I'm like, what is this? And that's when she told me, she was like, I don't know, but this person, which I know who it was, but she was like, this person says an apology. And it was like full of like handwritten letters of saying like, you educated me, you opened my eyes into what is human and what is real life. And what people don't realize is the whole LGBT community has a stigma because of like social media. Like, people just look at things on social media, especially with trans women getting killed. They don't publicize that, and they don't talk about that on social media. They just say that guy with the wig, that guy with the bra, and that guy that went into the women's restroom. And it's something that, like, obviously it breaks my heart because I live in that fear of like, I have to always have that wall up of even letting friends and family like still get to know me today. It's just something that like I see and I'm just like, wow, like I can't wait for the day where I can just walk out and say, we did it. Like, trans women, we did it. Like, we don't have to sit here and pretend to be something we're not. And even with the gay, the whole LGBT community, it's just like, I can't wait for the day where we can walk into Friendly's, McDonald's, and just use the bathroom and not have anyone point fingers or people, like basically try to harm us. And the one thing is, I take everything that I have lived through. That's why I try to break as many doors and as many things as I can because of it. Because I never want younger generations to come to go through what I had to go through or what women before me had to go through. So like, I never want people to ever feel unsafe. And especially around me, I'm one person that I never like someone down or sad around me. Even if I'm having my downest day, I will make sure you are smiling after spending 5 minutes with me. I just don't like that whole down and negative energy. I am a positive person because I've been through stuff. Yeah. So because I've been through stuff, I like to just keep that negative energy away, stay positive, think good. And it's like I say to anyone that has reached out to me, I say, like, please, like, don't be afraid to reach out to me. Reach out to me. If you want to get educated and you want to know more, reach out to me and let's talk. Like, let's talk like adults. Don't come at me like if you're like trying to like write it on my forehead. I'm like, no, we're going to talk like adults and you're going to get educated. And at the same time, I will listen to your point of view. But if I'm listening to your point of view, you have to be open to listen to my point of view.
Yes.
And that's something that I've learned a lot about myself, that I stand here. And not only do I stand here as a proud trans woman, Latina, plus size, super short, because I'm not tall, but I stand here till this day and I'm just like, wow, like I continue to break boundaries in whatever I do. And even with finishing school, I was the first ever trans girl to finish at my school.
Wow, that's
And I graduated with highest honors. I was student of the month the same week that I graduated. So it was something that I'm just like, whoa, like, okay, I'm doing it and I'm doing it and I'm just going to continue to do it. And I'm going to continue breaking boundaries wherever I go. So I'm grateful till this day. I'm so grateful for your fashion show. And I say to you guys, I know all the time, like, I can't wait for the day that you guys like bring the legends back.
Yes, definitely. And then I know you mentioned people reaching out to you. Where can people find you on social media?
So under basically all the platforms, I have Ronnie Flores, RONII Flores, FLORES. I am on TikTok.
Yeah.
Follow you, Drew. I am on TikTok. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram, Snapchat. If you wanna, just Snapchat me while you're at it.
TikTok. We'll get them to follow you on TikTok.
Right? But yeah, like people follow me there. Don't be afraid to message me, and I'm here for everyone. And you can follow my journeys. I'm not only a model and advocate, but I do a lot of other things. I am also a singer, dancer, and now I am a certified cosmetologist. And the one thing about me is I'm also a stunt woman and a wrestler. So,
so you need a good TikTok to follow. We've got Drew Shipley and Ronnie Flores, two perfect ones. Thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you guys. And I miss you guys so much. I can't wait to see you guys.
Can't wait till we can all meet live.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw this in now. So we're going to have Natasha go next, but at the end, I'm going to come back to you three. And I want you to just give us like a quote or a mantra that you kind of go back to, or like every morning you wake up to, or just something that inspires you. So save that to the end, but just
so you have a heads up, because if not, she'll catch you off guard.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, now to kick it off, we've got our final 2018 Dreamer, Natasha. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, maybe. Hey, Natasha.
Hey, how are you?
We're doing good.
Hey, I'm so excited. It's so good to see you guys.
Thank you so much. Please tell everyone, a little bit about yourself, where you live and something fun about yourself.
So I'm Natasha Haley and I'm from Ohio. And like you guys said, I'm a 2018 Dreamer and I'm so excited about it. A fun thing about me is, I just like to help people in general. Like, I'm always like trying to dip in somewhere where I can, help like women and empower them and uplift them. And so I'm all about like advocating for empowerment and for all, but I do a lot of women empowerment. And I actually run a platform myself called Stripped. Like I put it together for women that I knew around me to have a safe place where they could relate to other women that have been in similar situations as them, because I know that it's hard sometimes to be open and honest about things that you've been through just in life, especially as a woman, because as women, sometimes we tend to pass judgment before we really like take each other in and, say like, okay, well, I may have been in her shoes or I may know that feeling just from a different experience. So I just wanted to give women a place where they could come, a non-judgmental place where they could come and just have a place to relate to each other. So that's really important to me.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for putting that together. That's just such a nice thing to do for others. And it just goes to, again, speak about the type of people involved with Dreamwalk. You all are so beyond impressive to me. And I wanted to just kind of kick things off because I know you've been a huge supporter of Dreamwalk since the beginning. Yes. And I kind of want to like start in the beginning of it and learn, what was it that drew you to the event and why did you decide to get involved with Dreamwalk?
Well, like when I first seen like Dreamwalk, like the one thing that I remember was just like the rainbow. So I feel like that was where I was supposed to be anyway. I'm like, oh, it's a rainbow. I'm supposed to be there. And then I had watched the video from your guys' very first show that you had. And I just remember like seeing all of them women and like and listening to their stories. And it was just like so relatable to everything, you know what I mean? To everything that I was feeling like as a plus size, you know, as a woman of size, like trying to, you know, learn to love myself. And then, you know, I watched the Victoria's Secret fashion show every single year. Like I waited on it. And it was like, I never seen any woman like me, but I wanted to be that woman, you know, but I didn't want to change myself. And when I seen your guys' show, the first thing I thought was, I can go up there and be a size 22 and rock these wings and kill it and not have to change a single thing about myself. And that was the most important thing that drew me to your guys' show. And it was just like, so I felt like that you guys are more than just the creators of a fashion show. Like you take all of us and you love on all of us like we're yours, like no matter how many of us there are. And it was just so like inspiring to be a part of something that there was just so much positivity. Like even being in the fashion show, there was no negativity. Like backstage, it was just, you know, we were all helping each other get dressed. We were all helping each other get where we needed to be. If one of us felt nervous, we were encouraging them, or, you know, if one of us needed a hug or a pin or, you know, a curl or whatever it was, like we were just all like there for each other. And it was no one trying to outdo the other. We were equally trying to make this show and make one another feel amazing. And that was the one thing that I really, really loved about the show.
I just got goosebumps because that, like from the beginning, that has been like the one thing that we wanted, is because we've gone to so many events like as influencers or whatever, and everyone's so nasty to each other and everything's a competition. We wanted to create an environment where people just actually uplifted each other, and that's just, it means, you don't know how much it means to us to hear you say that, because that's what we love about our event, is the environment it creates.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was really like, it was just really important to me, and I didn't feel like I had to hide like who I was or the things that I believed in, or, you know, my body, or, you know, anything like that. Like I didn't think like, oh, I have to lose 20 pounds before I go to this fashion show. Like, no, I'm gonna eat this cupcake, then I'm gonna rock this runway, and then I'm gonna go eat another cookie afterwards. So it was really fun, you know what I mean? And it just made me feel like, I remember after I walked, I was just like, I felt like every girl should feel like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, every woman should have the opportunity to feel like that, to feel like you know, to feel like loved and to feel confident about themselves and not have to worry about, you know, their body or being accepted. So it was awesome. I loved it.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, as someone who does represent plus size models and the LGBTQ community, I guess you've seen that the runways now are including some people a little bit, slightly. But what do you think that you hope to see from change on social media and in mainstream media representing everyone?
I feel like that the thing that is the most important to me that I would want to see is, I noticed, like, just from doing like my platform and just speaking to other women that are of size, something that is really big, I think, is that a lot of what I've seen is like within our own community. So like within the gay community, within the plus size community, a lot of us tend to, instead of come together, we tend to like pick each other apart, or like I said, we try to climb on top of each other. Just like a small story, like recently I did a collaboration with Curvy Sense, the fashion line, and I did a photo shoot for some of their clothes. And I like my followers and a lot of people that support me, they were very, very supportive. But then on their post, I had seen women that were women of size, women that were the same size as me, women that were bigger or smaller than me, but they like the negative it didn't affect me, but just to see the negative comments about how like my body type didn't fit this outfit, or what were they thinking about letting me wear this certain type of outfit. Like, I feel like that, like, if I feel like I want to wear this outfit and I feel confident in this outfit, like, you should just support the other person for just having the guts to put something like that on and to do it so that it normalizes a body type for you,
Yeah.
you know. And like, so that's my main thing, is I think that we need more self-acceptance, and I think we need to normalize the body type, because I feel like that when people think plus size, they think like this, like the, you know, wide hips, or, you know, the, you know, curves. Like, yes, women are curvy, but plus size women have all different body types. Some of us are big on the bottom and small on the top. Some of us are vice versa. Some of us are voluptuous everywhere. Like, we all have different body types, and I feel like that needs to be normalized within our own community, so that we can accept every plus size body. We can accept every, you know, gay, whether they're bisexual, trans, lesbian, whatever that is, instead of picking each other apart. Because if we come together as a community, we can be a force. But if we continue to pick each other apart, then there's going to continue to be that separation between us as a community. And if we come together, we can make a difference. That is what I think.
I think that is absolutely, you couldn't be more spot on, because you can't expect change if you can't even come together and be a force to impact change. So I think that's a really great point, that we all need to stop looking at it as a competition, or one's better than the other. We have a collective goal. We all want to make the world a better place, and we all want to see, you know, more body types displayed, so that our younger generations don't feel like there's only one normal. So I think that's really good point. And then you also brought up kind of that negativity that you saw on someone else's post, and you mentioned that it didn't impact you. And I'm kind of curious, you know, what advice would you give to people? Like, how have you gotten to a place where you can read a negative comment and it doesn't impact you? Like, how did you learn to shield yourself from that?
What I did was, you know, at first, like, it kind of took a little hit at me, you know, and I was like, I questioned myself, and I'm like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, is this, like, you know, should I be trying to advocate and make a path for these women that are of a size, that are, you know, attacking me, and I'm of size? Like, you know, should I continue to do that? But then I thought to myself, like, if I don't do it, who is going to do it? You know, and then if I give up on myself and I get down on myself, which I know we all have bad days, you know, but if I get so down on myself that I let it snatch everything that I've strived to do as far as empowering women and stuff, then I'm not setting an example for the younger women that are looking to me as, you know, this example. Or even women my age. You know, I've had a lot of women, you know, tell me, like, you don't know how much you inspire me to do, you know, to want to be myself and to want to love myself, and you don't know what an inspiration you've been to me. If I let those negative comments and that negativity impact me, it's not just affecting me, but it's affecting everyone that is looking to me to lead the way for, you know, normalizing body types and lesbian women and plus size women. And, you know, like, I want to be that example, and I want to lead, like, our next generation into, you know, something that's positive and loving one another and embracing one another. And if I give up, they're going to give up, and they're not going to have any examples of anybody to look towards in the future. So that's what keeps me pushing to continue to do what I do every day.
That's awesome. Keep doing it.
Yes, it's amazing. And I think it's so great that we now have role models like you, like Drew, like Ronnie. And I think that you are also accessible via social media, because that is something that probably all of you didn't really have when you were growing up. And it's so nice that you have become, you know, you might have to take some hits, but you've become that person for other people. And we really appreciate you guys continuing to put yourselves out there and continuing to be that role model. Where can someone find you on social media?
On social media, I do Facebook and I do Instagram. So on Instagram, Baby Blue, so Baby Blue 081415. And on Facebook, I'm just Natasha Haley. My Natasha's a little different, so it's TOSHIA on Facebook. And so you can find me there, or my platform is Stripped, ENTLLC on Facebook. Stripped 081415 on Instagram. If you want to hit me there, feel free to ask me any questions. You know, I have a lot of girls ask me about how to get into plus size modeling. I have a lot of girls ask me, you know, how can they start to build their portfolio, or, you know, self-love and acceptance. So, if anybody has any, questions, or you just need someone to, give you that push for the day or whatever, definitely hit me, with any questions that you may have. Like, I'm always there. I always try to do what I can.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And then
You're
I'm
so
going
welcome. Thank you.
come back to you for my first mantra or quote or whatever. What is one that you go to?
I seen this quote, and I don't know it like word for word, but it is Coco Chanel, and it says, it's something about not being irreplaceable. Like, you're not irreplaceable. Oh, I can't remember how it goes, but it's something. Yeah, it's something about being irreplaceable. But it's a quote that has always like really like stuck with me, because I feel like that. Like, I feel like that people perceive people as being irreplaceable, like, until you really like get to know that person and get to know their worth and their value. And then that person really truly does become irreplaceable. Like, there's only so many of us in the world, you know what I mean? And I feel like that it's just important to remind yourself that you are irreplaceable. You are one of a kind. You stand out. And that you can make a difference. So don't ever let anyone make you feel like that. So that's kind of what I just try to push myself with daily.
I love it. I love it. Drew or Ronnie, who wants to go next?
Want me to go, Ronnie?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm just throwing this back to, this was actually my high school like quote underneath like your picture. It was, don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you doing you. And I'm only saying that because it's a good thing to live by, because whatever you're dealing with in your life, as long as you're being honest, truthful, you are who you are, regardless of what the haters say, you're doing better than them. But if they have to come on your profile to hate on you, if they have to say something mean about you to one of their friends, it's just sad, because at the end of the day, who's winning? You're still talking about me. So
I love that quote. That might get stolen and put in the back pocket.
It's actually, I think it's a Childish Gambino quote. So I have to give him the credit. I have to give him the credit, but I just thought it was too good to not say.
I love that.
Thank
so
you.
Perfect. And then Ronnie, what's your quote?
Okay, so my quote, actually, I have it tattooed on me because I made it. Probably, I was like 13 when I made this quote. And the quote is, if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it. And I have it tattooed on me because it's something that I live by. It's something that anytime I look at it, I'm just like, oh my God, like, yes, keep going, don't stop. I'm a type of person that the word no is not in my vocabulary. So and then even when like the doors are shut in my face, I'm like, no, I'm still going to keep talking. I'm still going to break those doors down, because my number one thing is, I always said, I would love to be famous. I would love to be in the entertainment business. But so Drew, I'm coming for you. I want you to interview me.
Hey, boo, I better see you on the red carpet.
There you go.
My ultimate dream goal is to one day be at the Met Gala.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is my one day dream goal. I'm working towards that. It's gonna happen. I'm not saying no. I could be 50 and I'ma still do it.
Yeah.
Because if J-Lo could do it, so can I. But that is something I live by. I just love to continue to push forward and just not let anything bring me down. Because at the end of the day, there's things in the world going on that are negative, and I much rather live by positivity than negativity. So I'm good in that book.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for that. And thank you all so much for joining. Does anyone have any sort of last comments or questions for any of our dreamers? You guys all did so amazing. I get so like fired up. I know we're all stuck in quarantine and I sometimes feel a little but after these calls, I always feel so inspired. Thank you all so much for everything you've done.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
For you guys, we would have never had this platform.
Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Happy Monday.
Yes.
And
Stay safe, everybody.
yeah, we can all get together sometime in the near future.
Yeah.
Walk a little runway.
Yes.